Elena Wanyama Chemonges. I'm the National Coordinator of Paralegal Advisory Services. We began in 4 districts of Uganda. That was Kampala, Gulu, Mbale, and Kabarore, and Fort Portal. And over the last 10 years, the program has grown to cover 58 districts. We have paralegals who work within the criminal justice system, providing basic legal aid for people who are in conflict with the law. Most times when people are in conflict with the law, they do not know how to navigate the process, to navigate the justice system. They are scared of the justice system. They do not know the procedures of accessing justice, and many of them have ended up not accessing justice because of ignorance of the processes and procedures of the law. And then the other challenge that we were looking at was the problem of congestion, especially in the police cells and in the prisons. Many people were staying on remand because they did not know the basics of accessing justice. So what we did as Paralegal Advisory Services was to get paralegals, train them on the basics, and then send them to work within the justice system. They go to prisons and educate the people, the prisoners, about their rights. They educate the prisoners about their cases, how they can access justice. They also link them to their relatives, because sometimes somebody can be able to get police bond, somebody can get bail, somebody can make an appeal, but because they don't know, their relatives are not in the know, they end up not accessing justice. So what we did was for these people to train the prisoners to represent themselves, because as you know, most prisoners don't represent themselves. They don't have lawyers. They cannot afford the services of lawyers. So the paralegals are there to help, not to represent, but to build the capacity of these inmates to represent themselves. Now, in 2013, we extended the project to cover Busia district. And we brought paralegals. They work with Masafu prison. They also have an office at court, and they have been helping the prisoners to navigate through the justice system and access justice. But we also noted that most of the disputes were actually disputes that were beginning in the community, and they were beginning as civil matters. There was a land dispute, and because it is not resolved at that level, at the village level, it turns into a criminal dispute. There's trespass, people are fighting and killing each other because of something that started as a civil matter. We have a lot of issues being defiled, and we thought that in addition to helping people who are already in the justice system, who are already in conflict with the law, we needed to do something more to prevent cases from escalating into criminal matters. And so we came up with an idea that if we trained community legal volunteers, they would be able to arrest these cases at community level before they escalate into criminal matters. They engage in mediation, and where they fail to mediate, that's when they refer the matter to the paralegals. That is when the lawyer comes in to represent those that are poor. So today we are here to launch the community legal volunteers. We began as a pilot. We are beginning as a pilot, and we are piloting this program in two sub-counties of Busia district. And these are the sub-counties of Lunyo and Busime. Why did we choose Lunyo and Busime? We realized that these are the farthest sub-counties in Busia district, and oftentimes they were not getting the services. By the time a dispute is resolved, by the time somebody is called to Busia, most disputes were not even reaching, because people are poor. They cannot reach, they don't even have transport to go to Busia. They don't have the ability to represent themselves in Busia. So what happened is that we want to train these community legal volunteers to be able to mediate cases. Those are cases that are of a civil nature, not criminal cases. The criminal cases, they identify them and make sure that they are reported in the right channels using the formal justice system. But civil matters which can be mediated, we want these community legal volunteers to be able to mediate. We have also prepared a referral path. If the paralegals cannot, if the community legal volunteers cannot solve a dispute at community level, then we encourage them to use the local councils. So the local councils, if they fail, then we refer the matter to the paralegals and eventually to the lawyer. Then they are advised to report to the police and follow the formal justice system. So we believe that this program is going to reduce disputes at local levels, and it is also going to increase awareness. People need to know the law. People need to know what to do in case there are disputes. So we believe that these community legal volunteers are going to be an avenue through which the community is going to be enlightened about matters of the law. Yes, the community legal volunteers were selected in the communities, from the communities of Lonyo and Busime. These are ordinary local people. They are women, they are men, they are youth. So we have 40 community legal volunteers whom we have selected in the two sub-counties. They have already undergone training, and today we are launching them. Their services are free. No one is supposed to pay any amount of money to them because their services are free, and we believe that even the poorest of the poor will be able to access justice, and mediation is going to take place so that we also reduce the flow of cases in the justice system, because most times cases which go to the formal justice system, many of them are even dismissed because there's no evidence, or they don't even warrant prosecution. So we believe that the community legal volunteers will be able to help with that. The beginning, obviously, there are perceptions, the community perceptions, where people believe in taking the law in their own hands. But now, when they are educated and they are shown that these are the paths through which to address disputes, then obviously that we believe will go. We also have an issue of culture, especially where women are not respected, where children are abused, and I think that these cultures have been perpetuated for lack of knowledge. But we believe that these community legal volunteers, when they raise awareness, even these cultures are going to change, because I don't think that there's a culture that promotes child abuse. There is no culture that promotes wife beating and violence in the family. But all this is going on because people do not know what to do. So culture has been an issue, lack of knowledge has been an issue, and obviously these are 40 legal volunteers working in 80 villages, in 8 parishes. The distances are big. So the challenge of transport is there, but the program is going to address that, because we are going to provide bicycles for the community legal volunteers to be able to move freely and fast. Community is to embrace the community legal volunteers. They are not policemen, but they are people who are going to help us, educate us about the law, about how to access justice, about how to resolve disputes. They are people who are going to help us limit criminal cases, because they are going to help us resolve disputes before they escalate into criminal matters. Accept these community legal volunteers to work with them, and if you hear that there's a child somewhere being abused, if you hear that there's somewhere where there are disputes of land and people want to fight and hack themselves to death, we can mediate. The community legal volunteers will be able to mediate and come to an agreement before people commit criminal offenses.
What a wonderful procession over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's all colorful. So colorful over here. That is the sign of the great project that is coming to give a new face. Courtesy of the great institution of Foundation for Human Rights Initiative. Thank you very much, the band, for that wonderful music and for the procession. Our dear guests who have arrived, I'd like to invite our guests to rise up as we sing the national anthem. You're most welcome, please. Please everybody rise up as we sing the national anthem. The band, please proceed. Our guests who are already here are the community of Samia. We want to announce to you that this is a very great day. And so our program starts. We are here basically to celebrate the birth of a program called Community Legal Volunteering. And so in our midst, ladies and gentlemen, we have community legal volunteers. And I will ask them to rise up so that people can recognize them. Please, community legal volunteers, rise up. These are our community legal volunteers, our guests. And the community? Who went through very careful selection process. And having fulfilled the requirements of serving as community legal volunteers, they happen to be appointed. Okay, right now we are going to announce the program that will follow. We shall have a word of prayer from the religious leaders, and we'll have an introduction from the local council one chairperson, And thereafter it will be followed by a speech by the local council 3 chairperson. Hopefully for both Lunyo and Sime. We shall also have a word from the probation officer. And ladies and gentlemen, it will be followed by a speech by the National Coordinator of Paralegal Advisory Services.
National Coordinator of Paralegal Advisory Services.
Who is right in our midst. And she is Madame Elna Chimonges Wanyama. You're most welcome, Madame. That will be followed by a speech by the Executive Director, Foundation for Human Rights Initiative. And that's none other than Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana. Ladies and gentlemen, the program will be followed by a launch. Which will be done by the Commissioner Kurajire, who is in charge of Inspectorate. And the Commissioner of Prisons, together with the Executive Director and the Local Council 5 chairperson.
And the Executive Director and the Chairman.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have also been informed that the LC5 is around. You're most welcome, sir. And we recognize your presence. We shall also hear testimonies from the community legal volunteers on what they have so far done since they were deployed to do some work here. Community legal volunteers. And it will end with the handover of items that will facilitate the work of the community legal volunteers. The person speaking is part of the program of community volunteering, and I said I'm Edward Obo, the legal officer who is to work with this program. Community legal volunteers Edward Obo, lawyer wa paralegal. We shall have a break for a music interlude, DJ. Home of DJ. commencing with a speech from the LOC1 chairperson of this place. I hope he's right here. We invite you to say a word because you are the one hosting us.
Abakeni mwesi egombola itulindire eriho elosi kidatu and the staff yao kasalazi bachifu bose batulembeka nembeka nabakeni befwe aba paralegal mwebale okwicha mbanirisa ometo mwene banango muhaye Grace Gola oluhayihuhayira egombola ino mubuleke village ndi chairperson wabahaye mwebale okwichamba sangalire muno era webale muhane we natabona obwangire enwe osikolere layi muno nasa humbero mukisa natabona batyo nasa nakanyire ni olubahola mwebale lala natabona nasa hubo mukisa ochohole bingulu bo chakiro enwe webale ndi maendeleo yako fwesi kuchokenderamu webale karibu mwehale ni muri bale hule yuma esidinyu nasa aliano.
Thank you very much. That was a word from the community leader. As I earlier on told you, this program has been embraced by the community leaders in this place. We are very grateful. And gentlemen, a group of young people from a primary school within our community of Busia district is coming right now, and as they prepare, we'll ask the DJ to proceed. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the arrival of this district. Most welcome, sir.
District Police Commander Busia.
You're most welcome, and his entire team. Yes, and as they take their seats, we want to take this privilege. And so, next in our program, we want to use this opportunity to ask the chairperson to invite our National Coordinator Paralegal Advisory Services to come and speak.
At this juncture, members allow me to call upon the next person, and this is Adnan, the National Coordinator. Yeah, most welcome.
You're all welcome. Thank you for coming.
Recognizing
The guests who are here.
I want to recognize the representative from the Democratic Governance Facility. Kufuna esende chihola programs kino chitulamu Democratic Governance Facility.
The manner that is that runs this program is funded by that facility.
I also want to recognize the Executive Director, Foundation for Human Rights Initiative, Dr.
Livingston Sawanyana.
Program launching
the program that is to be launched today
is one of the programs that is managed, that is a program of Foundation for Human Rights Initiative.
Human Rights Initiative.
The Foundation for Human Rights Initiative is a national NGO.
Foundation for Human Rights Initiative Uganda number,
and it advocates for human rights in the whole country.
And
one of the rights it spearheads is that of a right to fair trial. And improving access to justice. So Paralegal Advisory Services is one of the programs of the Foundation for Human Rights Initiative.
Paralegal Advisory Services program human rights.
So we want to thank the Executive Director very much
Mwebasa muno the Executive Director
for all the work that he's doing in this country,
mulw'emirimu kyaluhola mu project ino,
to the extent that he has even thought of the